Hey everyone, Spamthony Scamtano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Lemon Demon record, Spiritphone. Lemon Demon is the occasionally comedic rock and pop project of producer, multi-instrumentalist, and songwriter Mr. Neil Cicierega. The man is a jack of all trades when it comes to internet content creation. You might remember the legendary Brody Quest meme. On his YouTube channel, he also has a series of great skits, the epic Computer Fighters video that he just dropped. Also, you can check out the Potter Puppet Pals series that he's done. A couple of years ago, he came out with 2 amazing mashup records, which I still listen to casually to this day. This is what addiction feels like. And he's also dropped numerous Lemon Demon albums up until this point as well. And I checked out as many as I could when I first found out about Neil, and I guess my first impressions are that there were good intentions behind these projects, but a lot of the production was sort of flimsy, very clearly sort of a DIY thing. And not even like in a super cool, hip, trendy, lo-fi way. More in a way where the mixing feels kind of one-dimensional. The keyboards, the guitars, the percussion, the vocals feel really raw, maybe slightly untouched. Placing instruments in a mix can be a lot like arranging furniture in a room, and rather than placing everything tastefully so that the room functions and it flows and you could sort of move throughout it felt like everything was just kind of jumbled on top of each other. And this is somewhat of an issue on this latest LP for me as well, though not quite as much. It seems like Neil on this one has honed his production chops quite a bit, though they're not perfect. I will say that I think in terms of his songwriting and what he puts into this record instrumentally, which is a lot. This is a pretty busy record. I feel like most of his ideas, a great deal of his ideas, translate. All the songs are really sharply written. I mean, some of the best hooks I've heard this year. If you like the quirk of bands like Devo and the erratic vocals of a singer like Mark Mothersbaugh, or, you know, some of the weirdo dudes from the new wave era like Gary Newman, or maybe you enjoy little They Might Be Giants, or let's say the Japanese synth punk band Polysix, but sort of pulling the whole 8-bit sound out of the equation, then I think you're going to find something to like in this record. Neil isn't always making music that sounds like these bands, but I do think there is a similar playful attitude. Musically, Neil pulls a lot from the 80s on this thing. New wave, pop rock, there are a lot of throbbing synthesizers, punchy, danceable beats, though it doesn't really sound cliched or vintage or just kind of trying to desperately pull for some kind of nostalgia. Neil isn't trying to appeal to you with a throwback, he's trying to get you to just enjoy the songs for what they are. And I guess occasionally wow you with a very strange song subject, like on the song Cabinet Man, which seems to be about a guy that gets sucked into an arcade machine, and now he is part man, part machine, and exists in this weird video game world. Now, this thing is 14 tracks long, but if you buy the full-length album on Bandcamp, you get like 13 additional bonus tracks, which consist of demos, of some loose, just change odds and ends that didn't make it onto the record, some of which are actually pretty cool. The record features a really big intro track, a kind of a bit of a subtle, warm goodbye for the outro that at first I thought it was kind of a dud, but I guess with extra listens it has grown on me. And there doesn't seem to be a grand concept to this entire project, even though right after the first track the whole thing kicks off with a PSA where Neil is saying, due to his strong convictions, he has to say that this record is not endorsing the occult. And I guess there are some occult and very morbid, hilariously morbid moments on this thing that we will get into, but for the most part, this record is just all about each song on here just standing so well on its own as potentially like a good single. I mean, we're just talking great verses and choruses here, just very tightly written songs. Hook's so good, I get a rush off of them. One of my favorite tracks here is right toward the beginning, on a touch-tone telephone. I love the punchy pianos on this thing, the really sweet kisses of string embellishments that are worked into the hook too. This thing is as hard-hitting and as infectious as it is just really detailed and intricate and refined. And lyrically, this song is about supernatural calls, talking to people from beyond the grave while simultaneously saluting old technology. You know, Neil just tosses out references to things like circuit boards and Leonard Nimoy like it's nothing. The song Sweet Bod is one of my favorite tracks here, but simultaneously one of the most unsettling. Neil seems to have some kind of attraction to a dead body here, or some specific person's dead body, and he's not trying to have sex with the body or anything like that. It's not a necrophilia thing. It's not sexual, as he says in the song, but he wants to sort of cover the body in honey and sweet things and make it confectional. It's a candy cadaver. It's a candy cadaver, and I guess he just wants to mummify this body in sugar. I like the song When He Died. It took a little to grow on me, but I'm getting like a serious Unicorns vibe off of this song, especially with some of the very frail lead vocals and the very morbid topic of the track. The song Ancient Aliens has some of the most searing and just bright and catchy synth leads of the entire project. Then there's the song Soft Fuzzy Man, which, I mean, if a soft fuzzy man is anywhere near as fun as this song, I'm interested. Sign me up. On As Your Father, I Expressly Forbid It, Neil plays this really neurotic character that reads to me like from an old Talking Heads or like a David Byrne song. And Neil seems to literally be playing his dad, or a dad, on this track, sort of scolding his son for talking to his grandfather about the internet, and his grandfather doesn't know what the internet is, he doesn't care, and he doesn't want his kid to be bringing his Game Boy to the table. He seems to be yelling at his kid after he misplaces his dad's medicine or something, and his dad gets mad at him for it. As your father, I expressly forbid it! And Neil stays on sort of that family theme on the song I Earn My Life, which is sort of an intimate and a vulnerable moment for him. Sort of seems to add up to this idea that was placed by the last track that I guess family life, home life can kind of be a prison in a way. Or at least that's how I read it. And then Neil dives into the topsy-turvy world of economics on the song Reaganomics, where I guarantee this will be the only song you hear this year where a singer goes, "Deregulation, baby." Though I do think the song comes off really loud, super punchy, to the point where I think everything, this is just another mix where the keys, the beats, everything is just so loud and so piled on top of each other that it's a little oppressive to listen to. But lyrically, I enjoy what Neil is doing with the song, basically talking about his wish to free the world of the burden of money. And I like that Neil is able to occasionally work in a soft side on this record too, like on The Closer, or toward the start of the song No Eyed Girl. Not only does this track feature plenty of cowbell, but some vocal harmonies that seem sort of Queen-inspired. Really cool. This record, again, is just a straightforward pop rock record with some great hooks, some good writing, some really creative lyrics, and a lot of personality. It's got a new wave vibe to it with a fast, punchy punk energy, but it still stays accessible. Occasionally, the production can be a little messy, a little loud, and maybe this record might read to you as slightly obnoxious too. There is something about this album that is just painfully nerdy, but that does appeal to me. It may not appeal to you. And I think we're going to leave it there. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this thing. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit that like if you like. Spirit phone. Want to bone. Thanks for the album, Neil. It's really fun. And thanks for watching. You guys are the best. Forever.